Aloha! Lulu here, inspiring you to live your bliss. And today I'm compelled to share a personal story where I lost absolutely everything. And I just want to preface this by saying that I have never really shared this story except for with the exception of maybe a few friends. So I might get a little emotional. I don't know, because sometimes reliving personal stories trigger the emotions as if it was happening today. But today I'm going to lean into being brave and opening my heart and just sharing this story with you in hope that it will give you some inspiration. For the best wellness and lifestyle advice, allowing you to cultivate more bliss, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I release a new video every Tuesday. So before I dive in my daily meditations and my prayers, I just want all of you to know that we are all experiencing a huge array of emotions. I love referring it to my roller coaster from hell. Some days I feel really fantastic and positive and inspired, and other days I really don't want to leave my bed. And I can only imagine that some of you are feeling exactly the same way. See, I'm already getting emotional. So just know that you are not alone, and that pretty much every single being on this planet is experiencing some sort of fear, anxiety, stress, all those crazy ass emotions. So here we go. Deep breath. All right. So back in the day, I used to live in Las Alpujarras in Spain, and I lived there for about 7 years. And my first few years there, I ran a real estate company running various, in addition to selling real estate, I ran various build projects, including my own, which is my ultimate dream project. I moved from Chile, Santiago, Chile, to Spain in hope that the disaster that happened there was an opportunity to live out my dream of building a boutique retreat center along with a yoga studio and a restaurant for people to enjoy my passions of cooking. And so during that time, I was building, and it was super exciting. I had architects involved, and I got grants, and the government was supporting me, and the mayor was super stoked because I lived in a very small village called Muertas. And it was all very, very exciting. And then, and so in that time, I thought I was a vegetarian for 14 years, and I thought it would be a great opportunity, since I was going to be opening a restaurant, to go get trained in some essentials that were needed, like cooking meat, making pastry, and just really rounding out my repertoire. So I went off to England. And while I was there, I got a phone call from the mayor to say that he had a group of deputies from all over Granada that he wanted to share my project with. So I was like, yeah, go ahead, go. Absolutely, check it out. And while they were there, a couple of the architects noticed some new cracks forming on the wall. So basically, it was a build project that I had a jamon serrano factory, and on the top was this. On the third floor, I built this absolutely beautiful home. I created my dream kitchen, and that was where I was going to live. And then down below, we were excavating to create space in order to develop the project that I wanted to develop, which was basically 4 rooms. They were like loft style, and a beautiful yoga studio on the outside. And so with those cracks, he called a few of my friends that were local in the village and said, listen, this house is unstable, and she's just built out this beautiful dream kitchen. Can some of you go and at least get some of the appliances, because I'm not sure how long this house is going to stay up for. Anyway, I didn't know about any of this because, of course, I was in England at the cookery at the Grange. That morning, the next morning, after all the deputies were there and inspected the project, and I was in England, I got a phone call. And it was from the mayor to let me know that my house had come down overnight. So I couldn't even imagine what that meant. I was having a hard time because he was speaking Spanish, and although I speak Spanish, emotions started coming up, and I was just like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And so I called a few friends, and they went to my build site and took some photos. And sure enough, my house, my dream, my life savings was at ground zero. So when I came back from England, I summoned up all the courage that it would possibly take to drive to my home. And it was true. My entire life had come crumbling down to the ground. And I should also mention, as a little side note, that my marriage was also going belly up. And I laid on the ground and I sobbed for hours and hours and hours. And I realized that in that moment, I lost everything. I lost a dream. I lost my life savings. At that point, I had reinvested absolutely everything, buying the land and doing the renovation project. I knew at that time that I was losing my marriage, and I cried. I cried a lot, and a lot, and a lot, and a lot, and a lot. And then the sun went down, and just as dusk started to happen and my tears started drying up because I didn't think I could cry anymore, a voice whispered in my head. I don't know if it was the universe, if it's my higher self, God, whatever you want to refer to, these moments when this glimmer shimmers through your body. And believe me when I say this is just one of several stories in my life where I hit rock bottom. And I remembered and that I have my breath, and that I have this spiritual, universal energy that of love that is in me and in you and around us all the time. And that I have my friends, my family, and my community that I can turn to for help. I had access to water and food, even if it was just to ask for it, because I probably needed some donations at the time. And most importantly, the messages that came to me at that time, and that always come in a time of our worlds collapsing, are that the messages were, I have the strength, the love, the courage, the hope, all of these things glimmered inside me to know that this will pass and that I will survive, even if it meant recreating everything that I knew. And I didn't know. I was all uncertain. I had no idea what I was going to do from then on. But the messages are clear. When our worlds are falling apart, dear ones, there is always, and I repeat, always, something to be grateful for. There is always an unlimited amount of love and joy and bliss to tap into and to share with others. And that's really important to remember at these times, you know, when Gabby Bernstein says the universe has our backs, or Marie Forleo says everything is figure-outable. They're right. And I know this. I know because I am living proof that one can survive after losing it all. And this is just a little earthquake that's happening right now. You know, it's impacting every single person, every single being in this universe, in this world. And please know that you are not alone. And the main purpose for sharing this story is for you to know that you can survive. And now's not the time. I mean, I understand that fear is going on right now. It's heightened anxiety and stress are going right now. But if you can just tune in to this present moment, to the moment that we have right now, and just let go and give yourself a break of looking into the future, which is where we get all nervous and shit, right? We're freaking out because what if, what's going to happen to us? We're all, our careers are being affected, our families are being affected, our communities are being affected, and it's really fucking scary. So I encourage you, the invitation is to tune in to this present moment. My questions for you are, what are you grateful for right now? I know that I'm grateful for this roof that's over my head. My dear friends have offered this space for me to live in, which is just unbelievable. And I have food. The farmers are still producing whole and healthy food to keep me healthy. And I have my friends and my family and my community to tap into. And I have so much to be grateful for. So what are you grateful for? I encourage you to share moments of gratitude. If you're so inclined, comment down below. Sweet friends, I want you to know that, like myself in that time of disaster and this disaster, that you have everything you need to survive. Everything. Everything. My other invitation is to take a moment to reflect, because when I went down the memory lane of this massive loss in my life, I remembered all of these beautiful things. And I know that each and every single one of you has a story like this, of where you lost something dear to your heart, and it turned your world upside down. Perhaps it was a career, a loss of a loved one, you lost self-love. Whatever the story may be, I encourage you to go back and to remember the messages that came to you in those times, so that you could have the courage and the love and the strength to pick yourself up and trust that everything is going to be okay. Everything. I promise. It's not going to look the same that it did in the past. Everything is changing. We don't know where that's going. But just remember. And remember the love, the abundance of love that's in your heart today, that you can turn into yourself and love yourself, and then turn that love outwards and love your family and your friends and your community, and to reach out to them and express words of gratitude and love. I want you to remember, dear ones, that you are brave, you are resilient, you are creative, you're innovative. You got to where you are today because of everything that already resides within you. So when you're ready, and I know that now might not be the time, and that you still may have to process the waves of fear and anxiety and stress that are in your life right now. But I invite you, even if it's for 5 minutes a day, to remember that you are a capable, loving, amazing human being, and that you were put on this planet to share your gifts and to be resourceful and to be love. I'm here to remind you that I am love, and that you are love. And so why not tap into that and just express love, show acts of kindness, and come from a space of love, because that will give you that glimmer of hope. Love will let everything else fall away, even just for a couple of minutes, even if it's just for 5 minutes. So I hope in some way this story showed you that I'm living proof that you can survive absolutely anything, and that no matter what's going on in your world, I do have tons of compassion and love for what you're going through. I'm here to support you anyway, and to breathe and believe. Aloha.